Credit is more than credit cards. Credit is more than credit scores. Credit is simply an arrangement between two or more parties where one party says, I would like to purchase goods and services, but I'd like to pay at a later date. And the other party agrees to that agreement or arrangement. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 advantages of using credit, 5 disadvantages of using credit. And then I'm also going to be sharing with you some things that you can do if you are thinking of getting additional credit. Some things that you can do to make sure that you are ready to take on additional credit. Hello and welcome to SevTalksMoney. This is where we talk strategies, we talk all things money, share tools and tips that leads to financial freedom. And again, today we are talking about credit, and I want to make clear that credit is more than credit cards and credit scores, because when we think credit, most of the times that's where our minds go. Okay, so the first thing I want to share is five advantages of using credit. And one of the things that we can do is we can easily return merchandise. Now, when we pay cash, we can return merchandise, but using credit makes it a little easier when we use to return merchandise. Whether it's something we purchase on our credit card and we need to return it, or if it's an arrangement that we have with a merchant where we're asking to use credit and the services doesn't work out or the product doesn't work and we need to return it, it makes it easier when we use credit. Another thing is credit allows us to buy expensive items such as a home much easier. If you're thinking about buying a house in today's market, most houses are, unless you're buying a fixer upper, most good houses are going to be in the 200, and up. And I don't know if you're like me, but I don't have that kind of money to buy a house cash. So having the option to purchase something as expensive as a house on credit or a car on credit is an advantage of having credit, having the option to use credit. The other thing is shopping on the internet. The convenience of not carrying cash, the convenience of using a credit card to shop on the internet gives you additional protections. Now, there are protections that come with having with using a debit card on the internet. But this scenario is one that you can consider where you can see that there are additional protections. If you have a credit card of, say, $1,000 and a debit card with $1,000 in your bank, and you use the debit card and it's compromised, that can wipe out your entire savings or your entire cash. And then when you don't have anything to pay your light, you don't have anything to pay your rent, you don't have anything to pay your mortgage, you don't have anything left to pay any of your bills, to buy food, to put gas in your car. While you're working all of those issues out, all of your cash is gone. Meanwhile, if you use a credit card or any kind of credit arrangement, you have the option to work with the credit servicer and get that money back, but it doesn't put you at a disadvantage when it comes to your money and being able to pay your other bills. While if you use a debit card, it does. So they do have pretty much the same protections, a debit card and a credit card, if that's what you're using to shop on the internet. However, the danger of having your your debit card and all of your money wiped out of your savings account or your checking account is very real when you use a debit card. Now, another advantage of having credit is being able to build a business, to buy supplies. Let's say you establish credit with Lowe's and you are a contractor. Then you are able to buy wood, you're able to buy nails, you're able to buy all the things you need to perform as a contractor. And having that credit open to you allows you to be able to build your business. And as you build your business and your cash flow improves, then you can either get rid of that credit or have it open with the opportunity to use at a later date. But it's an advantage to you as you build your business, and it gives you flexibility. The last advantage that I want to point out is when you travel. When you're purchasing a ticket and you use a credit card, you have some inbuilt travel protection in that credit card. So it helps you. Some credit card companies even give you insurance when you buy up to a certain dollar point. So these are some of the advantages of using credit. The easily returned merchandise. You can buy expensive items such as a home or car. You can shop on the internet. You have the convenience of not carrying cash. You possibly get rebates. You can build a business, buy your supplies as you build your business, and get your business credit going, and travel protection. Now, with every good thing, there's always the flip side. And some of the disadvantages of using credit is that we tend to spend more. We get overconfident and thinking that we can purchase whatever, right? I'm getting a paycheck. It's $2,000 coming into my check. So let me buy this thing because I can pay later. And what sometimes happens is in point number 3, where we get into the danger of being stuck in the cycle of paying for past actions with present money. So we're always behind. We do have the money, we're paying, but we're always paying this week's check with for paying last week's expenses with this week's check. And so we always get into this cycle of credit where we are always able to pay our bills. Listen carefully. We're able to pay our bills, but we get in a cycle of paying last week's charges, the week before charge, on this week's bill, on this week's income. So we're never getting ahead. One of the books I'm studying about credit, it talks about the fact that if you are not able to pay down your entire credit that you have, if you're using credit outside of your mortgage, if you are not able to pay for everything within 4 years, you are overextended. So if you have any debt right now outside of a mortgage and you are not able to pay that off in 4 years, you are overextended. And that's the danger. It's not that you don't have the money, but you're always behind because you're paying. Yeah, I'm getting a check, but I'm going to pay for last week's and last month's expenses, and you're never getting ahead. All right, so I skipped number 2, so let's go back to that. Potential negative impact to your credit scores. So when you're using credit, you have to be careful that you don't overextend yourself because it's so convenient, because it's so easy to use. You have to be careful not to overextend yourself and then end up having negative reports on your credit scores. Now, I have some other videos on credit cards, and one of the things I talked about is the danger of using credit cards. If you are not careful, you end up in that cycle. And not only in that cycle, we get overconfident because the money's not coming out of our pockets. So it's easy for us to just use that credit card as if it's nothing. So potential negative impact to your credit score is one disadvantage of using credit cards. Number 4, privacy issues. Selling your information to other people. The credit card company, well, not the credit card company, the credit reporting bureaus are not in the business of taking care of you, the consumer. Let me say that again. The credit reporting agencies are not in the business of taking care of you, the consumer. In fact, they don't care anything about you. They collect your information and they sell your information. They are in the business of selling your information to make money. They don't care if the information is correct or not. That's the reason why you get pushback when you go to dispute something. Okay, because what the credit card company does is the medical company sends them reports. The credit card company sends them a report. Whoever, the mortgage company sends them a report and say, Severin didn't pay our mortgage for 3 months. Severin didn't pay our credit card for 3 months. And they don't check that information. They take it and they put it in your record. It's up to you to stay on top of that information, because all they're doing is collecting your data, selling that data, and making money. Okay? So the privacy issues are at stake because that's all they're doing. They're cycling your information and they're selling your information. So that's one of the disadvantages of using credit, because the more credit you use, the more exposure you get to your information. And the last one I want to share is increased cost of goods and services. Now, again, I'm sharing 5 advantages and 5 disadvantages, but there are many more. I'm just sharing these for the sake of time. Increase in cost of goods and services. Now, think about it. If you were to go into a car dealership and you wanted to get a car and you had $3,000 and you say, I want to get this car, I have $3,000, you are better able to negotiate. But if you tell them, I want this car is $3,000 and I want to be able to get this car on credit, now the cost of the car is no longer $3,000. So the disadvantage of using credit, one of them is increased cost of goods and services. And let's forget about the car. Let's think about, going to buy, anything, really, anything. The merchant already factored in the possibility that some of the people that charge these goods and services will not pay. And that's the reason why your thing is costing more than it should, because they're factoring already the possibility somebody is not going to pay me. And if you are the one who pays, you are paying for that somebody who doesn't pay. So again, let me run through some of the five of the disadvantages of using credit. Is because of overconfidence. You're using a car, you're using plastic, you're not paying attention, and so you spend more. You're thinking, I have a good job, and that's enough for you to spend, the money. So you're spending more, you may spend more, you become overconfident because you're using plastic and not your cash. It is harder. When you have cash and you take it out of your pocket to pay for something, you give it a second thought. But if it's a credit card, you're like, let me see, I'm getting paid, I might get a bonus in 2 months, let me charge it. Because, you're thinking of your future money that you're going to get. But when it's cash, it's cash. There's no future money. It's there. It's present. So you are going to take a little bit more caution in using the cash versus using the card. Another disadvantage is the potential negative impact to your credit scores, the danger of being stuck in this cycle of paying for past actions. And I'm going to share your story about my daughter with that. And number 4, privacy issues, selling your information. Again, the credit bureaus are in the business of selling data. They are not in the business of caring about what you have on your record. So that's why you have to be diligent and pay attention to your credit reports. And the last one, increased cost of goods and services. Now, let me give you a perfect example of what happens when we are stuck in the cycle of paying for past actions with present money. I allow my daughter to be a user on 2 of my credit cards because I want to teach her how credit cards work. I want to teach her what happens when you overextend yourself. And I monitor it very closely because I do not want any late payment or any. I pay the money anyway. But anyway, she's working a part-time job. And what she did is, she was doing really well. She would charge something and then she would transfer that money into my account so I could pay for it. She would do that for several months. And then last month or the month before, she charged some stuff on the credit card that she was buying through Amazon. And all I heard is bing, bing, Amazon, bing, bing, Amazon. I wasn't concerned because I taught her about limits and all of that. But what she was doing is thinking, I'm getting paid $400 plus per week. Per every 2 weeks on my little part-time job. So she had made some extra money. So she was making close to $500. So she was buying all these things. And she got paid that Friday. She paid for all the stuff. She sent me the money. She paid for all the stuff. But on Saturday, she charged on the credit card. So as soon as she got home, I said, give me the card. Because what you're doing now, you're getting into a bad cycle. What you're doing is you've made money. You've ordered some stuff, you paid, and that's fine. But now you have no money for lunch for the week. You have no money for all the little things you want to buy. So now you're charging again, and you're starting that cycle. So what you're going to do if you're not careful is next month, you're going to start the same thing. You're going to pay me back when you get paid, and then you're going to start charging the next day. That woke her up. And so she now is paying attention to the fact that if I want to purchase something, I need to budget it out. I need to say I'm making $400 to $500 every 2 weeks. If I want to get something, I need to buy this week. This will allow me to have $150 for lunch or 100 or whatever. This will allow me to have so much for this because I got to pay mom for gas because she picked me up at work. So she got to pay mom. Okay. And so she's budgeting. She's thinking about all of those things. She doesn't have a formal budget, but it was a good example of what happens when we get it stuck in a cycle of paying for past actions. We're paying and we're okay. We can pay the bill. But at the end of the day, as soon as we get paid, we pay all those bills and then we start charging again because we're living a credit life. You do not want to get in the cycle of living a credit life. Yes, you can pay the bills, but that's not the key. Don't use today's paycheck to pay for yesterday's bills. Yesterday's bills should be paid for yesterday's paycheck. Today's paycheck should be paid for today's bill. So you're not having that lag. Because what if you lose your job? Then yesterday's bills can't be paid. Because now you got to think, I got to pay yesterday's bill and I got to pay today's bills. And I don't have enough. So those are some of the disadvantages of using credit. Now, actually, before I share this, I want to share this link here. And this is a link where you can make an appointment with me. If you are wanting you can make one of those pick your brain appointments with me, or you can make an appointment where I can work with you to restructure your debt. Take a look at your debt. If you're thinking of buying a house, buying a car, or anything like that, you can make an appointment with me and I will sit down with you and help you figure out if you are truly ready to purchase a house. Because you may be making the salary, but the company, the mortgage company or the broker or whoever is going to be doing your numbers, they don't care that you're taking care of your sick mama. They don't care that you're paying back your 401k loan. They don't care that you are, have your children in private school. They see an amount that you're bringing in, and they see a way that you can pay your mortgage. They don't look at all the other numbers. You have to look at all those other numbers. And that leads me, and I'm going to put this link in the chat. And this link is also in the description of this video under Work With Me. And if you go to my website, SevTalksMoney.com, the link is also there. Work with me. You can work with me and I will help you structure your debt and help you understand how much room you do have to wiggle, because you need that wiggle room. All right. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is some things that you can do to prepare as you think about taking on debt. Calculate your debt limit. And what that is a percentage that you are comfortable with handling debt. So you want to look at your debt to income ratios. You want to say, okay, these are the debts that I have, whether they are fixed, like maybe a rent or a mortgage right now, or a car payment that's fixed, or 401k payment that's fixed, insurance that's fixed, or you have something that you need to take care of occasionally. Maybe you help a sibling out with money on a quarterly basis, or whatever that other expense is. Take a look at your expenses. Really look at your expenses and see, what is your debt to income ratio? Can you really take on more debt? I don't care that you just got a 6-figure job. I don't care that you just got a bonus. I don't care that you just got a promotion. Can you really take on that debt realistically? Because on paper, it says you can because you just got this bonus. But you have to look at the entire picture. Not only are you taking on additional debt, you have some other commitments that you need to weigh, and you need to see if this is going to be a comfortable percentage for you. The conventional wisdom is no more than 36% of your income. Okay. But these days, conventional don't work. So you really need to look at how comfortable you are. Weigh your comfortability with taking on additional debt. For me, I don't want to take on additional debt because I don't want nobody calling me, okay? I don't want nobody calling me, telling me I owe them money. So I have no intention of taking on additional debt outside of a certain percentage, because I know I have the room in my budget to do that. So I want to work with you to be able to help you calculate your debt limit, look at your debt to income ratios, and give you a really good picture. Because the bottom line is some people are afraid to look at their numbers. And I don't know why, because the more you look at your numbers, the better and more comfortable you become, because then you can put a plan in place to handle your debt. You can put a plan in place to manage. Maybe you can get a part-time job to pay down something. And I'm going to, I have several videos in my library, and I'm going to also continue to talk about some things around student loans and how you can structure your student loans and see how that helps your credit score. Because the thing is, the knowledge is there, but it's more than knowledge. I am about transformation. I want your data, I want your life to be transformed by the information I share. It's okay to get excited and say this is good information, but beyond that, I want you to apply it and be able to get out of the situation that you might be in. I 5 years ago, had a negative net worth, and I was able to get to a positive 6-figure net worth because I was able to apply this information after my divorce. Did I do anything, extravagant? No, I just used the information that I know and applied it in different places to get to where I am. And that's what I want to do for you. I want to work with you to be able to get you the information to set you up for financial success. And with that, I want to look in the chat and see if we have any. Before I do that, let me copy this link directly into the chat. And again, the link to work with me is in the description of the video. It's also on my website, SevTalksMoney.com, and I'm going to post it here in the chat. And so, hi, Beverly. Thank you so much, Beverly. I appreciate you so much. You just don't know. Thank you so much. She's always sending me screenshots of when she sees my videos that pop up in her feed on YouTube. And I really, really appreciate it because it really encourages me that somebody's looking out for me. And words cannot express my appreciation for that. So thank you, Beverly Harper. Asian American Legal Focus. She has a channel. Judy has a channel. It's about the law. And she had some dynamic guests last week. And she continues to have a lot of things where she shares about the law in a fun and relevant and relatable way. So if you have not followed Asian American Legal Focus, please go follow her. And I promise you won't be sorry. And another guest that's showing up here that's also a great supporter is AmSab Kitchen. Has the most gorgeous cooking channel with simple meals that just turns out so gorgeous. And I've tried a few of them. So please go follow them. They're a husband and wife team. And again, they make really great meals. So AmSab Kitchen, thank you so much for showing up here. And Beverly says, I agree. I don't want anyone calling me either. Yes, I don't want anybody calling me about money that I owe. So, again, for me, it's not that I make more money than anybody that's on this call. It's that I have learned how to handle what I do make. And again, I want to be able to share that. That's the purpose of this channel, is to be able to share my knowledge, but not only that, to help use that knowledge to transform anybody who listens or anybody who works with me. So again, thank you so much. And Sid from Miami, that's my brother chiming in here. Thank you so much for joining. He's always, again, one of my biggest supporters also. So thank you so much for joining, Sydney. And everyone, I will see you next Sunday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Please like, share, comment. Let YouTube know that this channel has valuable information. The more you share, the more you comment, the more you like, YouTube will see that people are engaging with the content and they will promote it more. Because I want to impact 10,000 women every year with this channel. That's my goal, to impact the lives of 10,000 women at least per year. And so I want to be able to do that. And you can help me by sharing, liking, and comment. So I'll see you next Sunday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Have a great afternoon.